Change is never easy, and when you're only 7 years old and have to completely change your habits, it isn't the easiest thing out there. I was a young kid just starting to figure out what girls were and how the whole human food chain works when I got presented with some bad news. My parents had decided to remove me from the schooling system I was in and switch me over to public schools. I was at Village Academy and I had been going to school with each one of my classmates since I could remember. My best friend and I's relationship had just started to thrive and I was finally feeling comfortable at Village. We would hang out for hours on end playing with our Pokemon cards and running around being kids. I'm not the most outgoing kid, so making friends for me only comes with a little bit of time and luck. I had a summer to enjoy my current friends until I was forced to make new friends. The day had finally come and I had to start school at my new school, Wyandotte Run. Going into a school blind was something I had never had to face before. I was stepping into a whole new world with faces I had never seen before in a place very unfamiliar to me. I didn't know where my classroom was at, and most importantly, I didn't know what to expect from my new classmates. In the back of my head, I was hoping one of these kids loved Pokemon just as much as I did, because that would be a great icebreaker. Of course, my parents were telling me that everything would be okay and that this move will work out for the best. Flowing through my head were thoughts of me sitting by myself at lunch, recess, and even in the classroom, staring at my level 50 Charizard I picked up the other week. No one is there to force kids to like me, and nobody's there to defend me if things start going downhill. Being defenseless and hopeless was very scary. Waking up in the morning was going to be tough. Wake up, just the way I'd want to start my day. My alarm not going off and my mom waking me up by screaming into my room. Not the ideal way to start off this day, but this day was far from ideal. Miss Sleeper was my 3rd grade teacher who I knew absolutely nothing about. Getting into the class, I decided to sit in the most excluded spot, hoping no one would sit around me. Staring, watching the other kids come into class and meet their friends was terrorizing me. Laughing and talking was flowing all throughout the room, but as for myself, I just sat and observed my classmates. It had become time for recess, and I still had yet to interact with a single soul outside of myself. Recess was up next, and I knew this one was going to be rough. I ended up sitting on a bench watching kids at the time of their lives for 30 minutes while I practiced tying my shoes. The one time when we weren't locked up in a classroom, I was stuck sitting on a bench wondering what to do. The best part of my day was eating breakfast for lunch, but outside of that, I didn't meet or interact with a single soul I could call a friend. I wasn't going to be able to put up with this loneliness much longer, so I was just hoping and praying that day 2 would be better. Starting off day 2, I had a feeling it was going to be a better day. I got into class on time and everyone was in their seats, so I only had a few seat options. It was either sit right next to the teacher's desk or over in the corner with some kids checking out their Pokemon cards. I decided to head over to the guys at the Pokemon cards and see if I could spark some conversation. Their names were Corbin and Wyatt, and without these 2 kids, I would most likely still be sitting on that bench at Wyandotte Run looking aimlessly for fun. For that entire class period, we sat and talked, completely ignoring the teacher about our strategies and the ways to play your hand better. They opened my eyes to things I didn't even know existed. Meeting those 2 created a relationship that I will never forget. They made me feel comfortable and welcome in the new school. My interest in such a small thing as Pokemon has brought me the 2 best friends a kid can ask for.